What's up, guys? So welcome to this new video. So today's new video is all about how to become a completely new person and absolutely dominate in your life in the shortest amount of time possible. Right, so basically, what am I saying when mentioning those things? So firstly, I want you to think about it this way. There's this guy called Tony Robbins, if you haven't heard about him. He wrote a few books, but one of his best books I've read is Awakening the Giant. So Awakening the Giant specifically addresses all of these things. So us as humans, I'm not going to give you a breakdown of this book. I might do that in a future video. Some guys have asked me to break down books that I have found valuable, and I might do that in a future video, but I'm going to keep to the tone of this video. So specifically, Awakening the Giant addresses those human behavioral factors of what allows you to specifically hop into the person that you are bound to become. So firstly, you must understand you cannot become a person, or you cannot become a beast, essentially, if you do not know what that thing is like that you want to become, right? So how do we then align ourselves with it? So Tony Robbins, what they do specifically with his seminars, with his talks, it's all energy, right? He taps into that element and effect of like understanding human behavior, firstly, okay? And also then understanding the psychological elements around it, and then wrapping that around science, and then basically getting new beliefs into your system, and the whole physical element of things. He gets you to walk on those coals. Why? Because before you're like, no, I'm gonna burn my feet. Then he gets you to believe a bunch of things, right? Then he talks to you, etc., whatever, and then he gets you to actually run across the coals, walk across the coals. Beliefs get broken in that process, and then you walk over the coals, and you're like, damn, I just did it, right? So that's one example of it, but it's all intertwined with imagination. So let's quickly hop onto that topic. Again, I have got my little black book here. So what we're going to do is, firstly, we're going to address why it is all basically 75%. It's all mindset, and why it is 35% skill set towards the thing that you are working on, right? Because this game of life that you're playing, or this game of business that you're playing, every single day you'll have to win here first. Every single day. It doesn't matter if it's a good day, doesn't matter if it's a bad day. You first have to win the battle here before you can win any other battles, right? So what does that look like? How do we get closer to that person? This is a question I get asked a lot. So the thing is here is that, firstly, let's quickly look at this. A vision board. You hear a lot of people tell you, hey, you need a vision board. This is like, take a bunch of pictures out of a magazine, get a photo of a car, stick it somewhere, like look at it all the time. Why do some people say that? Why do they preach that? Because in reality, what happens is that this is a bit woo-woo, so if you're not really connected with that stuff, just listen, okay? So the woo-woo element of this whole is that you're not gonna sit there and look at your vision board every single day and be like, oh yes, it's coming. I'm like, it's coming. I'd like, tomorrow it's gonna be there. So the thing is, what the vision board does is, if you have a cleared, defined, specifically path towards what you are working towards, right? So you have them in front of you, you look at them every single day, it keeps you aligned. How does it keep you aligned, okay? Because we specifically as humans, we have the faculty of imagination. We are the only creatures on this planet that can imagine things, right? So we have the vision board, we have vision casting, and we have imagination. So vision casting is about aligning yourself towards the direction which you are going, right? And because it is all mapped around your beliefs and your thoughts, and because those things will push you towards certain capabilities, because it's simply just the nature of how your brain works, and the physiology and the psychology around that, right? So let's look at your brain, okay? So, and the way your brain specifically works is, there's a difference between, it does not know the difference between actually physically experiencing something, okay? So you, for an example, walking on the beach in Malibu or in the Maldives with your toes in beneath, like the sand. You can feel them beneath your feet and in between your toes, with the, you know, the breeze hitting you on your, like on your skin. All of these faculties, if you engage all of these, you can feel the warmness in your heart because you're walking on the beach. You know, you can sense the fulfillment in your heart. You have the hand of your spouse walking in front of you. All these things, whatever those elements are that you really seek and you really want to be there, if you sit down, okay, if you hack your mind through this is a process of hacking your mind, rewiring your mind. And then also the meditational aspect of things is you are hacking your internal state if you meditate. That is all you're doing, because you're teaching yourself, okay? You are hacking yourself, you're teaching yourself certain emotions, and that draws you closer towards those emotions, and that keeps you aligned, okay? You're not doing it and then tomorrow it's in your life. That's not how that works, and that's usually the way that a lot of people take that message. So another example here is, for an example, like the fantasy industry, okay? The fantasy industry in itself is so powerful because you can get aroused, okay, simply through looking at a video or a photo and imagining something, right? There's no one even close to you, and that is the power of imagination, and obviously the scientific elements that are wrapped around it, and then obviously it has a stimulant like effect on the other side, right? So those are a few things that you've got to keep in mind here, because like that's really the power of your mind, because your mind is the most powerful machine that you do have, and you need to understand this thing. And that's why mindset is the biggest factor of all the other factors, okay? Because the other factors do not matter when your mindset's all jumbled up. So let's take an example here for example's sake. I'm going to show you right now on my computer example of templated versions of how you can actually you know, design your vision board, and how you can actually there's a little bit of formats that we use inside of self-build systems that you can use. Now, this original template, I don't know really who created this. I've seen a version from this from Sam Ovens, and I've also seen a version from this from Tyler Welsh. And there's other people that have similar versions. I just don't know who created it, but it's something we have taken, redesigned, and we have our own model, and it really just works. So I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like in my computer right now, but I want to give you one last example. Your vision specifically, as I said, is what keeps you aligned. So the only difference between someone that has like you have a hard time, a bad experience or something, or it's very tough on you, the only difference between you, or not you, but the only difference between the person who allows the hard time to have a negative effect on him and the person who benefits and reaps the fruits thereof of the hard time and actually move forward is their vision. Okay, because they learn to align themselves with what is happening, and they use those things that happens as stepping stones towards, they see them as stepping stones and learning curves towards the actual goal. If you want to make X amount of money, there are a certain amount of things that you have to do to make that money. If you want to live a certain life, if you want to do good for other people, those are certain steps and things that you need to follow. But this all starts with, number one, we have imagination, right? So I actually made a note here, and I said, okay, in order for yourself to lock yourself in onto a goal and to repel yourself to that goal in the fastest way possible is, number one, your thoughts, your imagination, your beliefs, and your action. So it is basically about redefining your beliefs and basically just staying aligned with your, like I said, your thoughts, your imagination, your beliefs, and your actions, right? Because those drive you towards your goal in the fastest way possible, right? So if you're a spiritual person, see it this way. Now, this is a bit woo-woo, so if you're not woo-woo, then go do something else, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can align yourself with doing that right now, not on a spiritual point, but more on a scientific point. We're going to hop into my computer and we're going to look at that right now, but on a spiritual point, what we need to do and understand is that basically, yes, if you align your thoughts, if you align your actions specifically, if you design them in such a way that basically the source, God, will help you essentially achieve those things. Because I believe, truthfully, if you're truthful in your process, you have done the work, right, within yourself, you understand how you can make a difference within this world, and you have stumbled upon an opportunity, a vehicle of being able to help someone else. And deep inside of you, as I've said, you've done the work and you know that you're committed to this process and changing a person's life or changing a group's life or bringing a product into the market or essentially solving this problem for someone, right? Then essentially the source will give you the shovel and he'll say, bro, let's dig. Let's see what you can do with this shovel. What can you do with this shovel? Can you design a new shovel? Can you take that shovel and duplicate that shovel, put that shovel in more people's hands, right? Allow more people to dig. Can you design and create a new kind of shovel that's bigger, can dig larger amounts, right? And can you put a team to work, right? That you don't have to use that shovel, but you understand how the shovel works, right? So those are the things you have to think about. I mean, please just think about that. So it's so important, right? So let's quickly hop into my computer and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do it for yourself. And we've designed a template. So there's a few, kind of like big players that I've seen have a simpler template like this. But I'm not too sure where this template originates from, but we've taken that template, we've redesigned it in the Southbolt Systems way, and this is what we give to all of our clients that we onboard to really help them stay, fully engaged with the process. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you in the computer. Alrighty, cool. So we're going to look at the physical implementation of everything I just mentioned previously, right? So this right here is a systems design for vision mapping. Okay, it's called the vision map, and it's physically having a system to follow in order to align your thoughts. Number one, you align your thoughts, your imaginations, and once you align them, you align your actions. Because there's this saying that says, if you can see it in your hands, okay, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Okay, so that's how that little saying goes, and it is everything of the truth. Okay, because that's how we as humans operate. Because I'm so obsessed with human potential, this is one thing I've realized that a lot of high level producers pay attention to. And there's also something I a long time ago learned from Wesley, $1 Billion Version, and that was the same alignment, right? It all starts with your internal state. It all starts with your self-talk that you have and how you program and reprogram your mind, right? Do you drive to the gym and listen to a new book? Or do you drive to the gym and listen to some workout music? Of course, if you get to the gym, you can listen to whatever you want to get your workout done. But I'm saying, how do you optimize the inputs that you have? How do you get more positive inputs? And basically, how do you optimize for that process, right? Because that is what will internally become habitual nature inside of you towards what you have an output. So let's quickly look at it, right? So here, Jean-Jacques Janssen van Rensburg vision map. This is obviously an example for myself. You just change your name here, you put your name there. This is a credo. So the credo reads, okay, Jean-Jacques is a successful, highly respected internet entrepreneur and capital allocator, okay? Systems wizard, and he is specifically has a business partner, right? You get very specific to the point, helping scale 7 brands that are doing 6 figures or brands, dependable, brands doing 5 figures, we help them go to 6 figures, brands that are doing 7 figures specifically, we focus on, help them to get to 8 figures. That's a process that we are embedded with. So basically, obviously, through that process, D2C, B2B, B2P, and B2C specifically, okay? And then you go into you go really as narrow as you can and basically to the point. Okay, so you can read here, it says Jean-Jacques and his future girl, okay, don't have a girlfriend at this moment, so live in X country, X house, specifically where this might be. This little picture I put here is obviously of the Apple headquarters, because obviously we're building the greatest company on the planet, and why not look at one of the greatest companies on the planet, right? So of inspiration, of thought, and to just see what is possible, right? I usually go for a Saturday run, and I would run past the this beautiful big building, okay? And underneath that building, they have all supercars parked there, and I would just run past them, I would look at them, and I would remind myself what is possible and what is out there, right? So it's all about increasing the level of your vibrational thought, okay? If you have low vibrations, you need to increase it to high vibrational frequency, okay? So now we step into things to remember. Now I want to say these specific 9 things I got from Sam Ovens, right? If you don't know who that is, you can just Google who that is. Specifically, I really like these and I wanted to keep them in this process, right? We've designed this thing ourselves, but there's a few tweaks and a few, I will give credit where credit is obviously due, right? So this daily ritual thing here is obviously a systems design when it comes to formulating habit, okay? When it comes to formulating habit, there's a specific way of doing things that will allow you to move forward. Usually takes anywhere from 31 days and upwards to establish a new habit, right? So that's why it's a bit hard in the beginning. So, and principle here is that it doesn't matter what you do. When you do it for the first time, it obviously will be hard, okay? If you learn how to squat properly for the first time, obviously that feels so hard. If you learn how to drive for the first time, that feels so hard, but the more you do it, the better you get, right? That's the whole principle in the process of when we work with companies specifically is the better your systemization, the better your the processes, workflows, etc., the better you will get in having less drag in the process, right? Obviously one of the things we solve for. So here, first thing in the morning, yada yada, you can go through this, you can read through this. I'm not going to read all this stuff. The affirmation part here is a specific affirmation bundle that we have. It's just, again, positive inputs, positive outputs, okay? What you program your mind with is what will show not only in your actions, but in what you attract into your life. That's a little bit woo-woo, but we're gonna get to the physical things obviously here. Here's a daily performance tracker. Use this performance tracker, track your performance. That which you track can be improved, period. No matter what you're working on, okay? So then we're gonna look at the Jean-Jacques Janssen von Rensburg identity. You want to design and distill the person who you are becoming on this journey. What is it that you want to achieve? How do you want to align your own branding with? If you're building a company, then you need to align yourself with some certain elements of some certain things, okay? Dependable on who you serve, dependable on the market sophistication who you serve, okay? So firstly here you can see this, got a bunch of little photos here and things that are obviously part of the vision board, okay? So right here, some of these things I've achieved, some of these things I have not yet achieved, but the point is that you need around 5 minutes a day. You wake up in the morning, you have a little bit of a morning routine, whatever you do to get your wheels going, and you specifically open up this document. You call it the morning elixir, whatever you want to call it, your morning coffee, your Kickstarter, whatever you want to call it. And you open this document up and you sit, you look at it, you envision yourself being in that house. You envision yourself buying that specific car. You envision yourself going on this date with a girl, your whatever your dream girl is, right? What is her character traits like? Okay, what does she do for a living? How does she build you as a person? You have to understand these things, and you design that. If like, don't ever come to me and say, hey, you can't design. Yes, fine, you cannot design everything in your life, but you can sure as hell have a checklist of things that need to acquire to be checked before you make a decision. It's just basically what I'm doing right now is I'm unpacking it for you guys so that we can learn how to think in principles, okay? If you've never read the book Principles by Ray Dalio, it is my favorite book. Pick it up, read it. It will change your life, okay? So the thing here is, again, these are things that you are working towards. You might have already achieved them. You might have not achieved them. But the point here is to look at it every single day. Keep your thoughts aligned. Know why you're working as hard as what you're working, and to be able to distill your energy into a direction, right? What is it that what energy do you want to give out into this world? Okay, like design that. Figure out what that is, right? Okay. This post photo right here, for an example, is a team-based photo because this theme for 2023 for self-built systems is all about building the best team on the planet. Why? Because we build the best team on the planet and we already have a service or a product which is superior, then you will dominate. So that's why self-built systems is all about. Theme is building the best team in 2023 possible, right? So now over here, as you can see, this is a little bit of a legacy update. So you just look back. You want to be able to, if you want to track your data, right? Let's quickly look in terms of this. We have a process where we journal, we reflect, we look at the week. We have a whole self-made, basically self-built systems, quote unquote, journal that you use. You do your weekly planning, you do your monthly planning, you do all of that. Now I've drawn ideas and principles from multiple people with this, and we designed our own one, which is really cool. I mean, I can share that at a later time, but you will be able to plan tomorrow, today, number one, and you will be able to plan your week, your month, your year, etc. But what's really important is how you set yourself up to win the week, the weekend before the week. What is your planning like? You have to overview. You have to look at what it is that you have achieved within that week. You have to be able to reflect. What have I worked on this past week? Have I grown? Have I not grown? Can I measure it? Okay. And this is one of those ways. You take photos. What does photos do? Photos is the act of capturing an emotion, capturing an event, right? This is what is here. These are some motions and things that I've worked on. You guys know I come from a trading background, and you guys obviously I've told a little bit of my story, and I will do a full breakdown about that, decision making, etc. And as I said, I'm still involved there. I still look at charts every single week, but my focus is with self-built systems. So point being is you have to be able to reflect back on what you have done to measure your progress, what you are doing forward. It is a fantastic tool to keep you aligned. Okay. Next thing here is we have the Jean-Jacques Janssen story. So this is a little story I just put out here. New commercial model, renting out a mate's house this year, or not this year, obviously referring back to the journey. Okay, it's the same thing. You're reflecting back and you're telling a story. Then living like a monk, aka monk mode, in the little lab cottage there. Not having sufficient cash to stay in a nice place, so we did what we have to do. Stayed in a little garden cottage at a place, right? Had everything you needed, just got to work. Here, find a little bit of consistency, road to 100K, etc. And then the development of self-built systems and basically the project Ascend. Obviously, you can see a little project. This is the current building that I'm staying in whilst I'm obviously right now shooting this video. This is where I'm shooting this from. So yeah, you back pace and you future pace. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to reflect and you want to future pace. That's how you build a monster vision, right? And that's how you stay aligned. So basically a monster systems design within vision casting, okay? So here you have the Jean-Jacques Janssen identity. Obviously, take away my name, put in your name there, character traits. What is your body like? What do you want to be represented with? What is your style like? What is your achievements? What things have you been able to achieve? What are you going to achieve? What are you working on? What are some aspirations, etc., right? Mentors, who you learn from. Are you in university? Who do you look up to? Elon Musk, etc., whatever, right? And then branding, go to the T, figure out what your branding is like, figure out what you like, figure out what you want to put out into this world, okay? Then we go into 2023 goals. Slap your goals. If you haven't done that yet, slap them down and keep track of them, right? Keep track of them in a measurable way, okay? Health and fitness, business, personal, and specifically behavioral goals. How do you want to act? How you want to be perceived? Status-wise, social-wise, whatever you want to call it, and then basically your unquestionable standards, because this sets a bar for yourself. And as we say inside of self-built systems, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay, there is no two ways about it. And then the last thing here specifically is the self-built systems reprogram your mind. So this specific audio here is an audio from, I believe it's Forbidden Knowledge. And this affirmation little audio clip here is one of the most favorite ones that we deploy. We have a bunch of different ones. Now this is specifically just to brainwash your own mind, hack your own mind. That is how you do it, okay? If you're not a positive person in general, this is one of the first steps you can take. Feed yourself with this every single morning and you will become an absolutely unstoppable human being. All right, guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, leave us a like, leave us a comment in the comment section down below on what you think about this video. And as always, guys, go out into this world and do something good for somebody.